You're listening to Mitnik's Monthly Brushstrokes, a podcast on the art of outsmarting, the fun part that sets you apart. I'm Keith Mitnik, author of Don't Eat the Bruises, How to Foil Their Plans to Spoil Your Case. For more information, please visit keithmitnik.com. This is Keith Mitnik again, and today I'd like to talk to you about something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's what I've said 1,000 times in my career. What we do is not a job, it's a calling. The sacrifices of time and energy that we put into this on behalf of our clients and on the behalf of justice and on behalf of the ideal of not allowing injustice to occur, in fighting back bullies in huge corporations and big insurance companies and trying to not only hold them at bay, but to knock them on their behinds, is a calling. It's not a paycheck and just a job. All of us want to do well. That doesn't mean we can't do good too. And I believe deeply in the good that we do. And I got a couple comments along that line I want to share with folks that I have said to myself over the years, and every time I've ever said them, they make me smile inside. One of them is to the younger or less experienced lawyers. I know it all feels like it's moving too fast. It's overwhelming. How am I supposed to remember the objections? Remember how to get my evidence in? How to ask a non-leading question, how not to say something that ends up with a mistrial. And all of those thoughts can be overwhelming. And everything's happening in a courtroom fast. And it does. As I've talked to you before about, quit worrying about how pretty it is. Make it be about your sincerity and your belief in your cause, and make sure the package that you have put together before you get there's right, and the rest will take care of itself. But I want to give you another peace of mind about that. You hear with athletes, you hear someone comes out of playing high school football and they go to a big university to play football in college. And what do they all say? No matter how good they were in high school, almost all of them say, the game's so much faster. You see a superstar comes out of college basketball and he goes into the NBA, and you think, how could it be hard for him? He's so good. And what do you hear him say? Almost inevitably, the game's so much faster. That's the way you feel earlier in your career or before your experience builds up in a courtroom. The game's so fast. Here's the little tidbit. I promise you, the game slows down. And I don't mean 20 years later. 3 trials in, it's slowing down. And the slower it gets, the quicker your reactions become, and less intimidating it is, and the more lawyerly you'll feel. So be patient. I promise, relatively quickly, the game will slow down for you. And here's the really exciting part of that. It's not like 2, 3, 4 trials in, it slows down, and now what's left for me to look forward to for the next 30 years? Let me tell you, it keeps slowing down. And at this point in my career, and all those times I've stepped in a courtroom, and all those trials I've had, and all the curveballs and things that have been thrown, daggers and unexpected things that have come at me. Now, later in your career, what it feels like is Neo in Matrix. You can see the bullet coming in slow motion, not only move out the way, but figure out how to fire back from 3 different angles and have time to pick which one's the best shot. So it'll slow down, it'll keep slowing down, and you'll reach a point where it's so slow, it's just fun. That's number 1. Number 2, here's something exciting, and it's not for everybody, but if it's for you, it's a thing of beauty, and it's this. I know of no other job other than a professional athlete where there is somebody on the other side who is highly paid, highly trained, highly skilled, whose sole purpose in life is to try to screw up every single thing you try to accomplish. Now, that's not for the faint of heart, and that's not for everybody. But if it's for you, what a fun, exciting, challenging way to spend the next 30, 40 years of your life in that kind of an arena. And lastly, if it's for you and the game slows down for you, here's what's there from the first step in the courtroom to somewhere down the line when you walk out of that last courtroom, decades later. It's this. Who else gets to say, people come to me and pick me to stand up for them when they couldn't stand up for themselves? Think about the honor of that. Someone picked you to stand up for them when they couldn't stand up for themselves. That is not only an honor, it's a blessing, and it's one of the most wonderful ways that you can spend a career because it's a calling. For those of us that it's a calling, this kind of talk isn't corny. It's from the core of our belief system. The fact that the game will slow down for you, and that's exciting to know that's a coming. The fact that it's going to slow down to the point things move in slow motion where you can take your craft to another level. The fact that you're able to walk in an arena where you have someone on the other side who is trying to destroy what you're doing, and you can still thrive in that environment and overcome that and overpower them in spite of their best efforts. And the fact that you're able to do all of that on behalf of someone who couldn't stand up for themselves and went looking for someone who happened to be you to stand up and do all of this for them is why it's a calling and why it is such a special place to spend an entire career. For more information, please visit keithmitnik.com.